Hi everyone, I'm Barbs, your lifestyle and wellness coach. Welcome to the Inner Child Works. Today we are going to focus on transactional analysis, a model that is used to identify how our childhood shapes our adulthood. This is reflected in how we communicate with others, how we relate to the others, and how we usurp or use our power when we are talking to those who are of a lower level or ranking than us. We are going to look at the three ego states. We function from the parent ego state, the adult ego state, and the child ego state, depending on the nature of the engagement or analysis or transaction that we are engaged in with someone. We may function from an adult ego state if it's someone of a lower ranking. Adult if we want to be reasoning with someone, to be reasonable. Or the child if they provoke or invoke the inner child in us. So today we are going to look at the parent ego state. In the parent ego state, there are two sides. Either you were raised by nurturing parents, which means the way you communicate with others in your adulthood is laced with love, kindness, patience, and understanding. Sometimes we discover that we were raised by very controlling parents, and hence our functioning or our communication with others is very controlling, very authoritarian. It's our way or no way. We cannot afford to accommodate other people when we are in the controlling parent ego state. So I'm going to look deeply into these different ego states and we talk about them, so that you can have a better understanding of what is entailed, and so that you can have an introspection whereby you actually see from what parent ego state do you function from, and do you need to change anything? Do you need to improve on any of your communication, on your relationship, on the way you relate to others as well? So now we are going to look at the controlling parent ego state. If you project the controlling parent ego state, it means you were raised by controlling parents. In your childhood, you were always told, no, 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 don't do this, don't do that. Everything was just in the negative. You were raised to know what you shouldn't be or what you shouldn't do, but you were not given the chance to be what you are supposed to be, because if you are not supposed to be something, there has to be a positive to that, isn't it? What you can be. But if you are raised by parents who were always shouting at you, telling you what to do, how to behave, how to react to or respond to things, how to be, how to play, you were raised by controlling parents. So it's ingrained in you. You tend to also be a controlling person as an adult. And in the end, your children, your subordinates, even your colleagues or your partner, they walk around on eggshells when you are around them, because they don't know what may trigger your anger, what may trigger your insecurities, because this is a sign of having insecurities. If you're going to be saying no to everything, if you're going to be negative about everything that is happening around you. So it's important to know how your parents related to you. You do not have to take everything that you learned, because now as an adult you have the choice to be a better person, to improve on whatever was imparted to you. So the controlling ego state, that's where you speak to other adults condescendingly, like you are talking to small children. You don't even show respect. There is no kindness in your words. You just want to give orders around you. You're one of those scary people. You know, there are people that are scary. When you're around them, you are afraid. You don't want to. You are just not sure how to behave or how to be around them, because they are scary people. The opposite now of the controlling parent is the nurturing parent. the kind of parenting style whereby the child is nurtured, whereby you were encouraged to explore, you were encouraged to be you, to be a child. Your milestones were celebrated. You were taught how to be, what to do. Everything was possible with you. You were given that opportunity to just express yourself, to feel free, to play, to explore, to discover new things. If you asked something, you were told. That's the kind of parenting whereby children are not just seen, but they are seen and heard. And you engaged with your parents. So if you have that kind of background, it's easy for you to communicate well with others. It's easy for you to set boundaries. It's easy for you to be kind. It's easy for you to be patient. It's easy for you to be understanding. And when you are operating from a nurturing parent ego state, people love to be with you. People are free to express themselves. Be it in the workplace, people actually enjoy engaging with you. They know they are valued. They know their ideas are not just thrown away. They know that they get credit for whatever work they would have done. I want to give you an example. Let's say you invest your money. When you invested, it was such a good idea. It seemed like a brilliant idea. But then it turns out to be a very bad investment. You lose all the money you invested. Now, the way you react or respond is dependent on how you were raised. The inner child in you, that parent ego state that will kick in. The controlling ego state will be hard on yourself. You'll start judging yourself. You'll lose even your self-esteem, your self-worth plunges down. And sometimes you will find people committing suicide because they cannot bear the failure, they cannot bear to think that they've wasted or put their money in a bad investment and they've lost. But if you're someone who was raised from a nurturing perspective, who had parents who did not berate you when you messed up or when you did something wrong, you realize that you take that as a learning curve. Next time, you have to do a thorough investigation before you just invest in something. You also learn how not to invest your money, where not to put your eggs. When you also learn to spread your eggs instead of putting them all in one basket. You allow that to be a growth curve. You now know what not to do. So when you embark on more investments, when you embark in more business, you know what to do. You are not even reacting. You just respond, like you take time to think about it, you breathe, and you're like to yourself, it's part of life, it's nature. That's how we learn, that's how we grow. And you take it from there. It is important to be aware of how you relate, or you respond, or you communicate to others. That's the best way to see what parent ego state you're operating in. And if there's need for corrections, for things to be fixed that could have happened in your childhood, because you need to heal for you to move forward, to progress and to grow and to transform. You cannot be a replica of the bad parenting that you experienced. You want to be a better parent to your own children. You want to set good examples to those who look up to you. You're a role model to someone. Remember, your life is an open book. There's someone who's always observing you out there. You may not be aware of who they are, or you may not be aware that there's someone who's watching you, but every time you are doing something, there is someone who's watching you, who's learning. So it's important to remember that you build your legacy now. You start living your legacy. You don't have to wait until you're dead for us to say this person left their legacy. Be the legacy you want to leave behind. So it's important. If your inner child needs healing, if your inner child needs some work so that you can change the way you relate, change the way you communicate, change the way you perceive other people, it's important to do that introspection and see from which parent ego state do you operate from. Even when you say no, it has to be said in love. Whether you are saying yes, it doesn't mean that if you are saying yes to something, you are spoiling people, or when you are saying no, you don't love them. But it depends on how the message has been conveyed to the recipient. That determines whether you are controlling or you are nurturing. Because everyone wants to be nurtured. Everyone deserves to be nurtured, even our own selves. For us to thrive, for us to grow, for us to be better people, we need to be nurtured. So we should be to ourselves and to others what we expect others to be towards us as well. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode when we look at the adult ego state.